Reviewing private healthcare in Mexico and taking my first trip to the emergency room was not the topic we had in mind for this week. But here we are.
In this week's video, we are going to share our experiences with the private healthcare system in Mexico, including where to go for healthcare, as well as the quality of the doctors, facilities, and the care itself. We are also going to cover private healthcare costs, depending on whether you are a tourist or a legal resident, and the difference is shocking.
Of course, we found this out the hard way and want to tell you how to avoid our costly mistakes. But first, let's roll the intro. Hola amigos, two gay expats here. I'm Andy.
And I'm Trey. If you are new to our channel, welcome and thanks for joining us. On this channel, we highlight our adventures around the world to inspire your travels, as well as to show you what places are really like if you are thinking of living, working, or retiring abroad.
If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our tips on moving to Mexico and our travel adventures.
Today, we are taking you with us to Hospiten, a top-tier private hospital located just outside the exclusive Playa Car Resort in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. It's where Andy had his first trip to the emergency room here in Mexico. So what happened?
Well, I enjoyed a few days in bed, not feeling well, where I developed an ear infection, and Trey did some research and found Hospiten, and that's where we went to the emergency room.
On arrival, there was a sparkling clean waiting room in the urgent care wing of the hospital.
I filled out the simple one-page form at the admissions desk. We also found a binder here with a list of prices. The nurse called me back in less than 2 minutes. She took my temperature and blood pressure, as you'd expect, and then asked me what was wrong in English. Thankfully, everyone at this hospital spoke English, which is more typical of private facilities.
The ER doctor came in right away. There was no wait. She took a look at Andy's ears and confirmed there was a little bit of fluid as well as a very bad infection.
She also said 10 days was too many days for this issue and that she would call the ear specialist right away.
At this point, the ER receptionist came by to collect $800 in a deposit. She said it would likely be much less, but just in case we had a little more extensive treatment, she had to collect $800. I thought it was a little strange that it was in dollars, but we are in a tourist area. So I thought, you know what, I'll find out what the peso equivalent is and we'll pay in pesos for our final bill.
After about 15 minutes, I was whisked away through the doors to the main part of the hospital, where the ear doctor used a machine to drain my ears in his office. He explained everything very clearly and then gave me 5 prescriptions for swelling, pain, and inflammation.
He also said to return in 10 to 15 days for a follow-up appointment and to make an appointment instead of coming through the emergency room, as it would be much less expensive. And that's where we're headed to today, actually. We have our follow-up appointment later this morning.
So bottom line, don't wait until things get too bad to seek help.
So how much did our ER visit cost? It was 11,109 pesos, which is about $555. I asked for a locals discount. I always try to negotiate. And she asked her boss, actually, which was really nice. We showed her our permanent resident visa and our passport, but her boss declined and said we had to show our actual physical residence card, which we do not have yet. We're waiting for it. So that was a little bit sad for us, but I did ask, well, how much would it be if we had our card? So she looked up the price and said it would have been 2,300 pesos, or just 115 USD. So it's 5 times the cost as a tourist versus a local resident.
And this is without health insurance. We have global healthcare with Cigna Global, but with our insurance deductible, we'll just end up paying out of pocket, which is what most people do here.
Also, it's important to note that most US healthcare plans do not cover you outside of the country, so you're definitely going to want to double check your coverage before you travel. We had a guy in the emergency room with us, an American guy who I think was hit by a car, and he had injured his leg, and his bill was well over 1,000 USD on his credit card, and he seemed pretty stressed about it. So if you are traveling outside of your home country, we highly recommend getting travel insurance for emergencies and accidents. You never know what's going to happen. Before we got global healthcare, we actually used World Nomads before. They're amazing. We've also heard a lot of people use Safety Wing. It's a little more budget friendly. We have not used them, but World Nomads was great, and we'll drop both of those links for you down in the description below.
We just put on our uniforms to walk to my appointment now, and my ear's a little bit better, but still a little hard of hearing. He said it may take a little while for it to come 100%, but we'll see what he says.
We are back at Hospiten for Andy's appointment. If we didn't mention already, they also have a really great website with bios of the doctors online. Another website that's a great resource is doctoralia.com.mx. You can use this all over Mexico to search for specialists as well as to book appointments online. We'll drop both of those links for you as well in the description below.
Let's go to the pharmacy. Well, it turns out I'm going to live. I just have to be patient. It was also much less expensive with my resident card, and they did accept the paper copy as we're waiting for our plastic copy to arrive.
Definitely. It was only 926 pesos for today's visit, which is about 45 USD. So a huge difference not having an emergency and having your resident card. We also asked if we could get a refund now that we have our residence card, and it was dated from when we arrived back in Mexico after getting our visa, our residency visa. And she said, oh, let me check with my boss. But this boss is tough. We've tried with her twice now, and she was like, no, we closed the month out. Even though it was just a few days ago, the month closed, so we can't do anything. But we can apply your residency card for today's visit. And we were like, oh, we've already covered that because we asked before we had our appointment today just to make sure that it was going to be the right price. So, and it was also all quoted in pesos today once you have your residency card. So that was also, that's how you know you're getting the right price, is when it's quoted in pesos versus dollars.
All right, let's go to the pharmacy. Stopped at the pharmacy at Isa.
This is a 24-hour pharmacy that was highly recommended by our doctor that is right here in Playa Car, right by us. It's amazing. For 5 more prescriptions, it was just over 1,000 pesos, so about $50. That's for a mix of brand name and generic, so still just a complete fraction of the cost this would charge us without insurance. It's just paying out of pocket than in the USA.
See, I'm gonna live. I'm just gonna make it right. Well, that's it for our first video on Mexican healthcare. Overall, we're very pleased with our emergency room experience and the care we've received so far.
We're also in the process of researching Mexican health insurance options to further lower our expenses here. If that topic interests you, let us know in the comments below, and we'll share what we learn on an upcoming video.
If you haven't already, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel.
Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next adventure.
Hasta luego.